Hey everyone, and welcome to another burn-in test. So this is the 2-year and 1-month point for the LG C9 OLED. So this is a monthly burn-in test I've been running on my 65-inch C9 OLED TV. UTT just down here, this is the service menu, just to give you some details in terms of the panel. UTT is the total hours used, so 3,441 hours are on the panel itself. OFF-RS is the mini pixel refresher count, so as you can see just there, 571 times. So that's how many times the mini pixel refresher has actually run in the background, and 3 is for the major pixel refresher, last one having come after 2,481 hours. Okay, so with that we will exit out and I will restart the test. So for those of you watching for the first time, firstly welcome to the channel. As I mentioned at the start, this is a monthly test I've been running on my LG C9 OLED. Initially when I first got the panel, I did run this weekly. So for the first year it was pretty much weekly in this particular playlist that you can find in the card in the top right. After that, once I passed the 1-year point, I've gone back to a 1-month cycle, just because there wasn't really that much usage beyond that point, and also it gets a bit much running it weekly. The idea behind the actual test was just to give people a real world idea in terms of what it's like to live with a OLED TV. This TV, even though it's a C9, so it's a 2019 model, it was purchased in February of 2020, and it's been used for everything from gaming to sports to movies to TV series, and even a little bit of desktop mirroring as well. So I did actually have this linked up to my MacBook Pro and use it whilst I was editing as well. That was only very minimal. I'd say the majority of the hours on this particular panel are gaming hours. So I believe roughly around maybe 2.5, close to 3,000 of those hours will be gaming. Majority of those were also one game, so majority of those were either Fortnite or Call of Duty, both of which have head-up displays. So the idea behind these tests is just to show people what the panel is actually doing, how it looks after whatever period of time, and obviously to give you guys an idea in terms of what you end up with in terms of maybe ghosting, maybe burn-in, maybe dimming, or areas on the screen, dirty screen effect, anything like that, any of the sort of normal jargon that you hear surrounded by OLED TVs and just general TVs in general as well. Since the newer generation of consoles came out, there was a big demand for OLED TVs because of the fact that virtually instant input response and the very low input lag times means that they're basically perfect gaming sets. But obviously there's a lot of myth and a lot of scaremongering around OLED TVs because of burn-in. In the past, yes, it probably was a problem, and most manufacturers have actually either built in protections or in the C9 case, the actual panel itself was changed, so the red subpixel was actually boosted. It was I believe it was increased to twice the size, because that was the one that used to degrade the fastest. So that was where you used to be able to see the ghosting, and basically you'd get that effect of a burnt-in image. This one, as I say, I've used it for everything. Recent usage has been very minimal since the 2-year point, simply because of what I've had going on with work and basically not a lot of content being out. Most of it's probably just been sports with a little bit of gaming. We have watched the odd movie here and there, and I've watched a couple of TV series on it as well, but majority of the recent usage, especially since the last month's update, would have been just sports, so basically football matches. Once again, they do have static logos, static content, heads-up displays, whatever you want to call them. So obviously there is that to bear in mind as well. Now, what I also did, I think it was just before the 2-year point, I have a video on it. I actually disabled TPC. As I say, I'll link a card in the top right hand corner for those of you who are interested in that. To summarize, basically it's a function where when enabled, it causes the screen to dim quite aggressively in dark scenes. This is meant to be a protection that's built in, thinking that the image has been paused. So the TV essentially thinks whatever content you're playing has been paused, and in order to protect it, it will slowly dim the screen. Now this causes a problem in prolonged dark scenes because the TV thinks it's paused, whereas in reality the content is carrying on and it's just getting darker and darker. I disabled that function TPC. Once again, as I say, a card is in the top right on how to do that, just before the 2-year mark. And as you can see, it's not really had any additional sort of detriment on the panel itself. No ghosting, no image burning, nothing like that. I do still have logo luminance enabled because I actually prefer what that does to sports contents when I'm watching it, because I don't want that glaring sort of bright logos popping out. I actually find it makes it more immersive in terms of just focusing on the game itself. So I'm always going to leave logo luminance enabled. A lot of people in the comments of that particular video did suggest turning that off as well. I personally wouldn't suggest that, but obviously that comes down to your individual use cases. For me personally, panel's been perfect, TV's been perfect in terms of image quality. We have had a few firmware updates recently. One of them was quite a major one. I've got a card linked for that in the top right as well. The other one's basically no real visual changes, so they're probably behind the hood kind of changes. But yeah, nothing really to report aside from the fact that the panel looks good and got no issues. I will be doing this monthly, so if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Until the next one, thanks very much for watching.